All right. Peace, y'all. This is the Views from the Seven podcast. This shit got Spence. I'm joined with my homeboy, S.O.
Yes, sir.
I say boy this time.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah, boy. My homeboy.
Really?
Wifey in the building. We have 4 special guests today. This is the first time I've heard of this in the city.
What?
What do you
Like-
mean?
A play from scratch from somebody here.
Like from the ground up?
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I did it, 2 years ago, Steph?
Yeah.
2
We did
years
it
ago,
2 years ago.
23.
Oh, I ain't tapped in.
In 23, I did that. Wrote, it's called A Different Kind of Christmas,
Okay.
musical. Did it for 3 shows over at the West Side Theater. So all of my plays are original.
Oh, shout out.
Hmm.
I ain't tapped in then.
Man.
Because I was like, man, I ain't never heard of
Last play you went to?
the what?
What's the last play you went to?
The what?
When was the last time you went to a play?
The what?
That's what
Have you ever
But
have
see,
you ever
that-
been
that-
to a play?
I feel you on that
Yeah.
because in Las Vegas, they are shows that the Smith Center is the main place that put
Yes.
on plays. So they're always right off of Broadway or headed to Broadway. Well, 9 times out of 10 is off Broadway. And then you have people that put plays on, and they're always putting on something that is Broadway known or something like that. So I don't know. I think it might be one other person that I've never seen his work, so I won't say his name or anything like that. But as far as original work, that is from day one of me putting on plays here in the city. The first one I put on was What's Going On, the reality high school musical. And I did it, believe it or not, opened it up in Summerlin. And they don't let us there anymore. So I'm not talking about me personally, I'm talking about every time I call up there, they're always super booked, and things. But yeah, most of the time when you hear of a play going on in Vegas, it's not original. It's not original. I think I'm maybe myself and maybe, I don't know if anybody else really, that put on.
Okay. See, I was 10% right.
Somewhat.
10% right. So before we get into the play, I'll just go down and you didn't already started to, your resume. Tell the people who you are, what you do.
My name is Fannie Mitchell. I am a playwright, writer, whatever you want to how you want to say it. And I've been doing this. The first one I did was in 2008, and I retired. And I said, you know what? Now I get to do what I love. So I'm retired special needs school bus driver.
Nice. Okay. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all be whipping them things too.
Look, we have to get what we gonna get.
And on time.
I'm also a driver, so I get it. But we gonna put some datings on them things. You get the corners in them joints, man.
Early in the morning, too, boy.
All right.
Hi, my name is Ethena Prophet. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I am a filmmaker, director for this particular project. I am the director of this wonderful play. My background is in the beauty industry, so I merge beauty and entertainment for my company, La Croom International.
Okay.
But, for this, I am directing this fabulous play, and we're just super excited about it. The actresses and actors are amazing, so you gotta come see it. It's just gonna be a bomb. The bomb. The bomb. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, many blessings. My name is Stephanie. I go by the infamous Black Butterfly. I play Nelva in the stage play, and I have a lot of different traits, but for the most part, I am an author, and I am just an overall girl, and I am grateful for the opportunity to be on the second stage play for Fannie, but I call her Mom. So I'm grateful for that. So that is me.
Okay, my name is Luciana. I'm known as Lulu, Luna Too Much. It's a couple of names, but right now I'm gonna be Sam for a while here, and Sam I am. So Sam gets to kind of conduct things because she's in law enforcement. So it's gonna be an interesting take on how law enforcement can be when they're not law enforcement. You know. You know, you might have family members or something like that. You know they different when they ain't got their suit on, they super suit, you know.
How do you guys when it comes to memorizing lines, what's the play-by-play behind that?
You know, for me, I'm a student, so I know how to study. So it comes a little bit easier for me, but it still requires practice since this is probably my maybe third or fourth time kind of working as on the stage, my very first time being a lead role. I just kind of broke it down line by line, and I just kind of connected the words, you know, to other words that would help me remember and trigger other words, like a trigger word, you know.
Okay.
And then I would can remember that line and another trigger word, and it helps me remember that line. And writing, you know, going back to regular, you know, people on artificial intelligence, but I prefer my own. And nothing beats taking pen to paper, putting impressions in your brain.
Absolutely.
You know, that's that neurological pathway, those things that connect. So when you find yourself writing, those are the things you can remember more, you know, especially when you attach emotion to it. So, yes, those are the
Yeah,
things
and
that we learn.
I can jump on that. With being a student, you know, we have to write things out, and I'm not privy to wanting to sit and just text everything. You know, I want to write things out. So with me, in learning my lines, I just read it all the way through, constantly, continuously, on a break. At home, just anywhere, you know, that's how I'm really learning my lines, by just rereading and writing things out. And like Lulu said with the trigger words, you got to find out what the trigger words are. And she brought that back to me and back to my memory in regards to going back and forth to college and high school on how to actual study. And that's what I've been doing. That's easy for me.
Okay. So 10/16, Alpine Heights, right?
That's my birthday.
Alpine Heights.
That's your birthday.
That's
really?
my birthday.
Oh, shout out!
And so I was like, okay.
What was the
That Gucci Mane album too?
Bricks?
It's a what?
Gucci Mane album, ain't it 10/16?
That's his regular
17.
name.
I think it's
Okay.
1017.
Oh, it's
I thought it was
10/17.
10/16. Oh,
is
no,
it?
you be lying.
It's
10/17. We'll do it
What's
all.
the how did you come up with it? What's the vision behind it?
It's one of those crazy things. The last play that I wrote, it was a younger cast. It was about an executive, and he basically did not like Christmas. So what I did was show the reason why he didn't like Christmas, and there was, like I said, all the cast was young. So I was up at a particular restaurant, and I was on a dance floor trying to learn this dance.
Where them fans at?
No. It was actually that Beyonce. It's a Beyonce song, and they was doing some dance. I said, "Oh, I need to learn how to do that." For what? I don't go nowhere like that no more. But a lady had came to see the play, and she was like, "Oh, I enjoyed your play. It was phenomenal." She said, "But you're a writer. When you gonna write something about us?" And I looked and I was like, "Us?" She said, "Yes, the seasoned people." And I was like, "Okay, I can do that." So I went back home, and I was sitting and I was like, "What would I write about for women of my age or younger?" Like, people don't really understand. 55 is senior now. 55.
Yeah.
When you turn 50, you get AARP.
Yup.
Got the card.
Okay, and you get senior discounts. even in the grocery store, you get senior discounts at 55. And so I was like, what do me and my girl be doing when we talking on the phone? I'm 65, she's 62. Oh, we just be talking about people.
Truth moment. Truth moment.
And so that's how I came up with the concept of it. And I'm from down south. I'm from Arkansas.
Okay.
So I remember going to my grandmother's house, and her girls would be sitting on the porch talking about everybody.
Like
you know.
Pearl off 227?
Yeah.
Like Pearl off 227?
You ain't heard it from me.
Pearls are everywhere.
If you look at like the 227, you look at what's that, Crooklyn, I think it is.
Yeah.
Crooklyn.
All of them, they're based around people sitting outside talking about people, doing stuff outside. And that's the way I grew up, with my mom and my grandmother and them sitting and talking about Miss Lucy and Miss Pearl and what all they was doing and who they was doing it with and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of the concept I came up with. I said, and it was basically about me and my best friend. I mean, you get her on the phone and she be talking about people, and I don't know who the people that she's talking about, but she be talking, and especially the church people. I'm like, Annie, you go to church every Sunday. What do you do up in there? Don't you read the Bible and all that stuff? And she's like, girl, yeah, but you know, what you call it came in there, you know that dress was too tight for her to be sitting up on that front pier like that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's where it comes from. Let me tell it. The church.
Yeah. And so it was just something that that's what women of particular age, they do. They sit around, and like with this particular play, it's based on a stoop. There's a building that it's connected to, and the four ladies meet for the tea time, and that's what they do. They talk about everybody in the building, and a lot of the key figures that come through to talk to them are out of that building, and they act like they the best friend of the people. Child, how you doing? What's the and time when they, girl, you know and it's just that's what I came up with.
Okay. So, how do you bring that vision to life?
So that's the fun part. Just hearing what she wants, taking my own experience and, being from the South, and then letting the actors do their thing, just empowering them to really bring the characters out, understand, like, what would they be thinking? What were they doing? What does their day look like? Why are they keeping these secrets? Why are they being so scandalous? So just understanding the vision and then making sure that it's communicated to the audience. That's my job. So making sure what she wants is seen and felt by the audience.
Okay.
How long you been here?
I've been here in Las Vegas for about a year and a half.
Okay, you ain't from Vegas yet.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely. I do not want to be from. I'm an AT alien. Yeah.
What part of Atlanta?
Originally from Buckhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
You too?
Oh, I'm from around the corner, 89106.
Nice.
Since 1973.
Ooh, we weren't allowed on the strip back then.
I'm a little seasoned. I am
that.
definitely a desert rose.
Okay.
Nice.
Came up through the concrete, yeah.
You too?
That's where I stand. Lake Mead, D Street all day.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing that that just the neighborhood, that's the sense of the neighborhood and the kind of neighborhood and the quality of our neighborhoods have declined.
Absolutely.
It's not just when they were sitting around talking, I believe in many cases they were talking about something for real that probably led to other foolishness, the conversation may start out with, Lord, did you? But at the end of the day, we have to remember we're human. And we're carrying our human experiences into other people's lives. And we have to be careful how we treat one another. Even if we gossiping, gossip about something good. I ain't heard you, the girl, did you know she got a scholarship? No, what's going to come out of there is jealousy. You know what I'm saying? You know, at the end of the day, now you jealous because such and such, she be with them boy, them tattoos all over their body. I can't, but, and look at they, you know, and people don't realize that, you know, I got that big old plank in my eye, you know? So we have to be careful with the gossiping.
Gossip.
Yeah.
Want to hear that mess.
Yeah.
It's the tea.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that tea.
That
Give me
tea.
that
We
hot
want
tea.
it, you know? Gospel or gossip, you know? It's a choice.
The gossip is with the coffee. The tea is with the tea. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The tea. The tea.
It's just all about the tea.
They're correct because it's. I started to do the old school saying was like, what's the flavor of the Kool-Aid? And I was like, nah, we're gonna sophisticate these ladies and give them some tea.
That's what the pinky is.
We go, when they drink it, you know, we got Miss. There's there's 4 main cast ladies. The other lady is Blair. She's played by Leslie Wilburn.
She's so secretive.
Yeah.
And we don't know where she at right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She out doing
Exactly. When you
songs.
at,
That's
girl.
right.
And then the other one, you guys, she's a local rap artist, Misfit.
Okay.
Misfit is in the play.
Shout out.
She plays the
Trees.
she plays Latrice,
Latrice.
and she's the building maintenance supervisor. So you know where that tea coming from.
Life in the building.
And how long you been here?
Oh my goodness! I moved out here in 1980. So
Really?
I've been out here for 45 years. The day after the 4th of July, July 5th.
Wow.
That's how long I have been here. You know my son.
Absolutely.
And so this is product of my environment.
Nice.
This is what we're wearing
Absolutely.
today.
Yes.
Yeah. He
Product.
designed, this is his design and everything.
Shout out to Gree.
Yep. And so it's like all of my kids went to school here, graduated from Western and Las Vegas Academy. My one daughter, they call her GQ, her name is Fran. She graduated from Las Vegas Academy. But she played basketball at Western.
Nice.
She played basketball at
I mean,
Western.
not nice, but nice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, it is. It's
Right.
nice.
The Wildcats is
As
big, baby.
Steph said,
I'm a Cheyenne graduate.
Oh, it's
8910.
Oh, that's right.
Where did you graduate from?
Cheyenne.
You know, I remember when they opened up Cheyenne, and they they took students from like all the different schools and sent them over there to make Cheyenne. I think Cheyenne was like one of the first new schools they had done in a long time.
Yeah, that was trial and error.
Oh, damn.
And they took the Gerson and
mixed
you
them
know
all,
everybody on
coast,
Berkeley Square and everybody from the View and
Yeah.
stuck them over there at one school. Like y'all didn't know this was happening, huh?
Trial and error.
Yeah,
Trial and error.
They didn't
Yeah,
think that through.
yeah.
Yeah,
They knew they was mixing up.
Makes sense.
They trouble.
I see. Well, you know what? I take that back. Me and my husband was talking. Oh, when we retire, man, we're gonna go back south. We're gonna go back south. And so one summer we went to look for a house, and I had forgot I had lived there in a minute. And so we was out looking for houses and stuff. And then there's and so you from Mississippi, so you can relate. Remember the
Alabama.
tornado warning
Yeah.
horns? I never heard that growing up, you know, because we was in the rural area. So only way we knew the tornado was coming when Mama started covering up the mirrors and unplugging everything. I'm like, what are you doing? It's a storm coming, you know.
Get off that phone.
Yeah. Away from that
Get off that
window.
phone.
part.
Turn the electricity
And
off.
Sit down.
That part. And so I'm, driving, and we stopped to look at this one place, and I heard this woo, and I was like, what is that? And so I'm running to the car, and here's, babe, it's okay. That's just them doing a warning test. I said, for what? He said, tornadoes. Okay.
We back to
So we
Vegas.
driving, it goes off again. I pulled over the car, and I remember them saying, run to the ditch.
Oh no.
I had on my new gold, black, and white Nikes. I did not care. I was looking cute, but I did not care. And he's running. He's like, babe, where are you going? I'm getting ready to be a widower. You better follow me. You better follow me. And he said, babe, it's a warning. I said, 2 warnings? First one is a warning. Second one is coming. I gave up that idea. I went and bought some land in Arizona. I'm not moving. They can have down south. I thought about Atlanta. Then they have hurricanes. I can't drink that much water. So I'll stay in hot Vegas. I would stay in hot Vegas. I can go from my air-conditioned house, air-conditioned car, to air-conditioned building. That's how I roll.
I heard that. I think we did a layover in somewhere in Florida.
Oh, so
Some
humid.
humidity high.
Oh, my
Stickiness,
goodness.
yeah.
So
They can
humid.
keep all of it.
You don't need no lotion down there.
All of it. You can have that.
Oh, you better not put no lotion on, and
Yup.
you black, especially if you dark skinned and you
Yup.
white, because that lotion is coming
Melt
out.
down.
Yeah.
we last summer we went down for my husband's family reunion and our school reunion, and so we flew into Sweetport, Louisiana, and we was going back home, and we had to go back there. That's where we flew out of, and they. I flew, what's this airline? I forgot the name of the airline, but I flew in on this airline, right? Everybody else, they're not flying their planes or anything like that. So the thing come over, said I need everybody to go and to the shelter or something. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, where's the shelter at? Is it a bomb shelter? We got to go on the ground. It was in the restroom. That was the safest place in the airport, was in the restroom. And what do my mama want to do? Nosy. She wants to prop up in the doorway and look at the people. And I'm like, Mom, you're going to have to move out the way so the people can get in. I'm going to sit right here, and they better not touch me.
She was getting the tea
Right.
from the doorway.
She was
The
about
tea.
to get ran over, and her daughter was going to be one. I was going to lead the run.
How did you find your way here?
Well, my daughters go to choral, so
Okay.
so they were excelling there, and I said, you know what? I just expanded the company out here, and was in Arizona for a little bit. I went to college. I'm a Sun Devil, and so just came out to Vegas, and it's working out.
What's the difference?
Yeah, there is a difference between Las Vegas and Phoenix. Phoenix is my.
We got
city.
casinos.
But yeah,
That's
the
about
casinos,
it.
yeah. But I like it. It's growing.
So how long are you removed from
Atlanta.
Georgia?
It's been about a year and a half. Granted, I'm in Atlanta a lot. Like I go back every 6 to 8 weeks.
Still got a Georgia driver's license.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
You almost in.
almost
No,
there.
I'm almost.
One foot in.
Almost
I'm
a resident.
I'm almost a resident.
What are some of your past projects have you done?
So I just finished a film with some students. I work with elementary school students. We just finished The Eighth Dimension that was featured at the Las Vegas Black Film Festival.
Nice. Shout out.
Did that, yes. Shout out to Michelle and that Las Vegas Black Film Festival. We did that. We also did a film earlier this year called Homework that I work with Nevada Rise Academy. I do teach second grade there as well. But working with them, so we've done 2 films this year, and then I've got some other projects. I write adult content.
Adult.
So adult content.
I like that.
Like the exotic.
It's
books.
Vegas. We go right to it.
erotica.
Yeah.
Really?
That sounded
Yeah.
like too, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's erotica. So I write erotica suspense. I'm a former police officer. So I write
Really?
erotica. So
This is interesting.
erotica suspense, kind of there's a couple lessons in there.
Yeah.
And I put on film adult content for educational purposes. So
Elaborate.
So it's like, when you go in the grocery store and you have all of these different, every fruit, vegetable at your disposal, but you still don't know what you want to eat. So you go to the rounder and you get a recipe off, and that may be what you want to eat tonight. So it's the same way with that content. So for couples, you have the other person at your disposal, but why is your romance going down the drain? Why you still don't know what you want to do? So those films are kind of like little recipes of what you can do.
Oh, wow. And where can these be found?
That's crazy. Oh wow.
Inquiring minds would like to know.
So those books are on Amazon. The other ones are through my website, Lacroom Entertainment.
Spell it out for our listeners.
It's it's Lucrum, LUCRUM entertainment.com.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can also get your tickets to 1016 Alpine Heights there as well.
Oh, can you give us the when, where, time?
Well, it's at the Flamingo Library Theater, 1401 East Flamingo Road. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7 Caucasian time.
On June 12th.
6:55.
Letting you go.
That means 6:30.
Okay, make sure. Yeah, you know what?
We do
She's
start on
right.
time.
We are starting on
We
time.
do start on time.
Yeah, we are starting on time. So,
But
it is
they
7
could
p.m.
they could buy tickets through the cast on their different platforms, as well as my platform, and they can cash out $FMM59, and they can in the memo leave their name, and they can pick their tickets up at will call, and that opens up at 5.
And what's the date?
It is June 12th.
Okay.
At June
We'll
12th.
be there.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night, but I look at Vegas. Hey, we 24/7, 365 days, so there we are weekend long. Every day's weekend.
Yep.
And it's a good thing to do on a Thursday night. Like, it's full of secrets. It's full of scandals. Like, it's
Yeah.
something where you're going to need to be paying attention and, like, watching who's who. Like, the characters have so much thunder behind who they are, and, like, watching who's trying to outdo who. It really is something to see on a Thursday
And
night.
you know what I learned yesterday on listening to you guys, the interviews and stuff yesterday. I was like, oh my God, I got a lot of these people reliving a lot of their life. The cast,
Yeah.
I was just shocked,
Yeah.
at how much they were reliving their life. And I always do a message play. There's a message in the plays that I do. Like this year, we covered lupus,
Yes.
divorce, how it affects young children. And just a little tidbit, the guy that I cast to play the single dad is a single dad. That's how I'm saying is relate. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that's okay.
Yeah, like your question, how about them learning their lines?
Yeah.
There's so much personal connection that, like, it really is. It's a beautiful thing, especially for me as a director, to just, when we have those moments of how can you connect with this character? So many, like she just said, are really connected to the characters, and it's almost like they're able to express how they really do feel as the character, and then themselves as an actor or actress. So it's this one is really good, even just for that part.
Yeah, I had no idea that Miss Prophet was a former cop, because Sam plays a cop, so she know how to pull that out of her. Because I had written in the play at gun, and she said, "Oh, cop would never say gun. We say weapon." I was like, "Oh, okay." And it's just, I was like, used to be a what? And then with Sam,
And I'm anti. I'm like, police. And now I got to be the police. Like, what? It calls you to sit with your feelings. And I would like to say that it is probably a form of therapy if you can allow it to be. And when I say that, the aspect of if you can see something about this character that maybe reminds you of someone's or yourself, mostly it should resonate with yourself. And once you read the script, and it starts to melt in you, and it starts to become you, and you become that character, you have to remember that there are those people that are like that. We have plenty of Sams and Nelvas, and Latrices. We have plenty of these people in our neighborhood, but do we really get to know them, for who they really are and the secrets that they have? We all have them. So that's why we got Sunday, so we can go to church. Repent. So, the creator thought about that. We gonna need that day to say, I've been a terrible human sometimes, I've made some bad decisions. I overspoke or spoke too much. Sometimes not speaking up enough.
Yeah.
You know, and letting exactly what you said resonate. One of our characters, David. I had a conversation with David, and I got to know David, a person, and hearing the things that David went through in his relationships, and now it's like, wow, you know, for real. Like now it's really making me think, like as a person, like who I am and the things I went through as a man. Is like, wow, it's like it just like ding dong, you know. And we need the actors, and if that's the one thing about going to the movies and being entertained, is that it should be something that you learn from. You're not just always having to escape from.
Yeah, with Nelva, there are some. I don't know. I can't really say like. I don't want to give too much away about it.
Yeah, no.
But you have to actually really pay attention. Even though she is of the seasoned age, there are things that did happen prior to her being that age. And as a woman, as a little girl, you know, you feel me? So you have to, it's a tearjerker, you know. The entire play basically is really a tearjerker and different points of it. Yeah. So if you get those feels, just let those feelings out because it's real. It's definitely going to be a real experience.
So for you two being, you know, born and raised here, how has the city experience changed through the lens of you guys' eyes?
How has the what experience?
The city.
The city experience?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I'm a city girl through and through, but within me, I'm country because we're from Fordyce. My grandparents are from Fordyce, so they instilled their country ways into us. But I am still city, but I do have my country ways. But being from here, it's amazing. I love it, you know, being a Desert Rose, but there are trials and tribulations that come with that. Having racism towards me in middle school, eggs tossed at me, you know, being called derogatory words, and didn't think that I was good enough per se in the Clark County School District, and I had to hone in really what my grandparents instilled in me, and that is put God first, and everything else will fall into place, and no weapons formed against me will ever prosper. So I am who I am because of the love that my grandparents have for me. So yeah, I'm getting emotional, but it's deep. It's deep on many levels. Playing this character, so yeah.
When I think about the city, I've been here just as long. I'm big five. My grandparents migrated here, my mother's parents, from Arkansas. So he fought in the war, World War II, came, scooped up his wife, you know, from the South, and made it here. Ended up working with the operating engineers, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the test site. So that's my grandfather. But in that meantime, that process, they went from, and you talking about how the neighborhood has changed, where to me we had more dignity and pride where we lived at. Didn't matter where we was from. Our house was clean, you know. Our kids look right. Our neighborhood we cared for. They came here, and honestly, they end up staying at. My grandma she should be one of the oldest residents living. She lived in Marble Manor when they first brought it.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like 1958 or something like that. Wow. And so they weren't going to let her rent the place, but they said that if she can agree to keep the kids off the grass until it come up, because they had just planted the grass. And she said, I could do that. She had the prettiest grass on the lawn. She stayed on J Street. And she said when she got ready to move, she had cleaned up and everything. Said that she had the cleanest place, that they didn't even have to go in there and paint, because they had never seen, you know, a woman, you know, a family take care of a house the way they did. And that was a project. you know. But that was their house. That was their home. And those things. So seeing now that they're tearing down Marble Mountain, and shout out to the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority. Many people hate them, but God gave them. I got my 40 acres and a mule, so I'm good. When we realize that we are responsible for the environment we're in, either we're going to put back into it and cultivate it and grow it, or we're going to just take from it, destroy it, and never put back into it. And seeing that we are in this landscape now, I'm also an educator. I'm Miss Lulu. I'm a nail tech, been a nail tech since, I feel like since the day I was born. So that's what I've been doing. But currently living out that be the change you want to see. I didn't just want it to be a quote. It had to be a way of life for me. So I became an educator, and I decided to step off into my neighborhood where I could be effective. It didn't feel that way because a lot of times with us, how our neighborhood has changed is when your next door neighbor could tell you something, so they better not tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened to love thy neighbor as thyself, though? Because that's where I remember. That's simple. That's just respect. But your kids don't have in the neighborhood no more.
That's right.
Our kids don't have that. They knew such and such stayed next door, and even whatever they was doing outside, they would stop doing what they was doing for that moment, make way on the sidewalk, help her in with whatever package of groceries or whoever came to our house. They knew how to respect the atmosphere. And so for me, going back into my neighborhood means that I have to call the youth to action. I have to say that this is now your neighborhood. What are you guys going to do about it? A lot of hoopla going on about Marble Manor, and the things that's going on. But truthfully, because I sit as a board member, I can tell you the truth. A lot of the things that's going on the west side was already going on before we just knew about it. Right. It's not today. This was going on in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with the interaction in it, the politicking. And so a lot of that, I can't even change it. I'm so upset about it because politics wasn't spoken of growing up. That's what they want us to be, entrepreneurs, be entertainers and athletes. Distract you from the real problem, which was we were changing the world back in 1960s and 70s. Yeah. We changed something. Send them to war, put drugs in their community, make their mamas work all day and night, give them some, fast food, give them this, give them that. Now we're totally distracted. And it seems like this autoimmune disease, we turn on ourselves. Like lupus, your body turns on itself. Yeah. Our community has now turned on themselves. It is an autoimmune disease, if I can speak from that perspective, because we don't have nobody else to act out with. So we acting out on each other. When we used to put our minds together, we acted out on the world. Absolutely. So if we can put 2 or 3 cuss words together and make billions and millions of dollars, what's with us putting 2 or 3 strong sentences together and change the world and the whole dynamic of the future of our children are at stake because they are absent of what means loving our neighbor.
And that's what the thing that really, like, I came out here in the 80s, they was a little strong over there, but I'm going to keep it real and 100. If somebody asked you to take them past Cheyenne, you was like, way over there? I'm driving up. And gas prices like 50 cents a dollar. I'm not driving way over there. That's where I look at the growth of Las Vegas is how, now way over there is where I live, way over there, and touch on what Lulu and Stephanie was saying, that my kids, they grew up in, what's
Baby.
Yeah, whatever the neighborhood is called. Yeah, but no, what they call it, the neighborhood.
Yeah,
That's what they grew up of, Tonopah and Sutro.
Bonanza Village.
And so our particular street was one of those streets. The Poos lived across the street. The Givens lived across the street. The Johnsons lived next door. And the cul-de-sac behind us, that's where all the little hood kids used to come and shoot dice on that thing. Yeah, don't you? And so it was like that type of thing to where now where I moved into the 55 plus community to get away from my grandkids because they can't come. But it's like the street that we live on. I don't know. I've been over there 5 years, almost 6 years. I don't know them people.
Yeah, we don't talk to our neighbors no more. That is
we
a
don't.
lost art form.
We don't.
I do.
That's a neighbor.
I do, though. I
Right.
talk to all of my neighbors because I'm actually in a Habitat for Humanity's home. So we actually helped build our own homes and other homes as well. So all the 7 homes in my neighborhood, 7, we helped build. But it's in the older neighborhoods around it.
Yeah.
But the ones that I know and that I helped assist to build on, I know them all. We are our own what is it called?
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood watch. We are our own
That is
neighborhood
a
watch.
rarity
We'll call,
nowadays. That is a
girl, you see
blessing to
such
hear.
and such? You see that black car across the street? It's been there for 2 hours.
So
Like,
y'all
well-
Alpine Heights over there is what you're saying.
Yeah, Alpine Heights is everywhere.
Yeah, 1016 is over there on Colton. Yeah.
Can I say something as a new person seeing Las Vegas? And even with this, what I've noticed is, and part of becoming a filmmaker, is film communicates what we know and kind of keeps our culture going.
Yes.
So even as a filmmaker coming here with Sony and Warner Brothers and the new like major film
Yeah.
hubs
Yeah, they are
coming
coming.
to Las Vegas now, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be here because through films and a lot of the films that I do have a major message. We're able to reach those communities and tell them, no, this is what we need to get back to, like what these ladies are saying. This is how we kind of need to be doing things. So I see Las Vegas, even as a new person, changing into being a place where we, as filmmakers, as playwrights, are being able to drive what needs to happen.
Message, change that narrative.
Yeah, through film and entertainment, the right way.
See, I enjoy these type of stories because I'm younger. So you know, bro. And so he's a transplant.
Younger than.
I was born in '88.
Younger.
Oh,
Oh, I was a freshman in high school.
So
Absolutely.
so our the way that I look at the city and the experiences. I'm also like a history buff, so I enjoy hearing stories of prime Vegas, as people like to say.
Yeah.
With all these, with more entertainment coming here, though, I am a little worried that the stories that have yet to be told become whitewashed. When people usually come to Vegas, it's usually about the Strip, the mob, and a little bit more Strip. But I haven't seen no one yet
The
go
Black
across
Vegas.
those.
The tracks?
The
Oh,
across
well,
the track.
it's a film out, actually. The west side of the tracks, and I'm actually in that too, and about my family history here, because we had a restaurant. My grandparents had a restaurant, was well known for their burgers and their milkshakes, and they were one of the places outside of the Moulin Rouge that the blacks were able to go to get a meal. a decent
Hamburger
meal.
Heaven, is it?
You know, it was called the Johnson Malt Shop.
Okay.
It's on Jackson Street, 418, actually. And I remember working in it. I remember pushing the jukebox. I remember saying, dance for the customers, you know, through my mom and my aunts and whatnot. So that it's there. It's called the West Side of the Tracks, and it's out, and it's been out.
That's more of a like documentary.
It's
style,
a
though,
documentary.
right? Yeah.
It's actually extensive.
But
it's
I
very
didn't know
long,
what
but
I
we're
learned
in
from
there.
Was it your aunt that was the first black lady that was something to do with the culinary?
No, that was my grandmother.
That was your grandmother?
She was the first black female to be the president of the culinary union here in the city.
Yeah.
And my other aunt, missionary Taylor, Larice Taylor, she was the first black mail carrier here in the city. And then with my grandparents and their restaurant. So I'm deep. I'm history. I am history.
See, and that's why it's so important, like even what you guys are doing, and like thank you for having these type of platforms and that type of thing, like for us to be able to keep the narrative going and to be able to tell the truth and what actually happened.
Yeah.
And like even with the bigger names coming here, being able to, I feel like we're in this special space where we can get out in front of it a bit. So when they come, we're not new. You know, we've been doing this, even if it's once, you've done it before.
Yeah.
So when they do come, we have a following. We have a platform like what you all are providing here, where our stories can be told, and they're not going to be smothered because we already have the following. It's already been told to the community that this is important. This is what really happened. So it's just a well-rounded circle where our narrative our truth can continue to be told.
How does the truth look? What does the truth look like to you through the lens of being on the other side?
So, truth, of course, has several facets. In my role, my job is to communicate the writer's point of view. Whatever the plot of the story is, whatever messages are supposed to be communicated, my job is to pull that out of the actors and make sure that the audience feels it, smells it, tastes it, walks out with that message and with the understanding of the message so that they can spread it. It's like when we go to the movies, you leave, oh, you got to see this, it was so good, this is what it was about, they're spreading it. So the director's job is to make sure that that happens.
And through the lens of ex-law enforcement.
So, that thing, first of all, I loved being a police officer.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta. I
God bless you.
I loved it. I loved my department, MPD. We did a great job. I had great leaders. It was a great experience. However, I will say that the police academy teaches you how to turn things off and turn things on. So, I don't necessarily see things blue all the time. Granted, I had my own business. I ran some hair salons, Strands of Beauty, for about 10 years after that. So my worldview is extensive, if you will. I'm well traveled, a lot of things like that. So I understand how to take the writer's desire and make it come to life on the stage or on the screen. It's not through my own. It's not through what I want. It's what the writer wants. Even if I'm writing it, it's that message being delivered is my job.
How do you fight that, though?
I have to give this one to my parents. You do what needs to be done. My dad played in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons, and we come from a long line of business people who you do what needs to be done. You get out of your own way. Especially once you've committed to it, you make it happen. Yeah.
How strenuous is the editing process when making a film?
Very. Making a film, editing is a lot. I mean, it's very tedious. And even with the editing, you still have to make sure that the point is being communicated properly. There's certain things you can't edit out or something. You're going to have to leave it in there. We're going to have to shoot it again. But it's strenuous. And it's fun, too.
Is there any future goals of making this play a movie?
We've talked about
I was going to mention something like that.
You're telling me Miss Fannie's secrets now, okay? We have talked about it. We've discussed it extensively, and we'll see. We'll see. It has great potential for a film. It would be, the play's outstanding. She's a great playwright, and I'm not just saying that because she's sitting here. I really mean it. But it would be excellent on film.
Out of all the men in the movie, how many of them are vilified?
How many of them are what?
Villains, like the bad guy.
Oh, you'll have to come and find out.
Great
You'll have
answer.
to come and find out, darling.
Yeah, baby.
You may think one is a villain, and then you never know.
I want to mention something, and I want to get back on what you were saying in regards to the truth. And how she actually does bring it out in us, because she will stop, she will cut in a second and says, okay, do you have an ex? Did they break your heart? Or, you got to really think about what actually happened. So she says, take a minute, just think about it. And then we actually sit and take a minute and be like, well, golly, that did. Yeah, and no, I don't like you, and then so now we have that trigger if I can use that word like that we have been triggered to actually bring forth what she was trying to bring out in us from the gate, from that particular moment.
Slate is God sent. Amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She
She's
is
awesome.
amazing.
She's a little
at
young, but she's
taking,
awesome.
she's amazing at taking what she was saying about someone's dream or what they put on that paper and turning it into what they put on that paper come to reality. And that's what I love about her is like she listens. She listens. Before she took on the job of directing the play, she came over to my house. She sat at my table and talked to me. And we went over, act by act and the characters and all that. And she's like, okay. And I was like, so you gotta, of course, I've read this. Yes. Are you gonna have me do? Yes. So we was on the same page, and baby, we turning them pages together. Mm-hmm. We are turning those pages together. But it's like I said, you never know. Like someone asked me, and this is not being racist against any shade or anything like that. All of my babies are that shade, every last one of them, and they was like, where's the light skinned, damn near white people at? I said, I don't know, it ain't in this play.
Somebody asked that like in modern times, like recently?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
We still
Yes.
on that.
I think we've gotten very comfortable with
Yes.
safe black.
Safe black.
Yes,
think
and
so?
it was like I didn't when they came and they auditioned and things like that, I wanted to show all different form of beauty, and that's what I seen in the cast. And then like my mother is dark skinned. Because I used to know how people used to treat her growing up. She's born in 35, she's 90. But then I thought about how I'm like a little caramel color, and then my brother and them, they're darker than me. And it was one word that she used to call me that used to, and that was piss color. I was like,
I've heard that.
wow, piss color. Well, maybe start looking at my pee when I pee. But that's what that's what she would say.
Yeah.
And then it's like with my kids, my children are a rainbow of shade. But I was so glad to put these beautiful ladies on stage and let them show their
True
talent.
colors.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Let them also show their true color and their true talent, to where to say, get out of that, you have to be a certain shade of blackness to make it in the industry.
That's true.
And the other thing was putting them, like, they're all, except for the tea bringer. You guys are all, what, 50 plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all 50 plus. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want to get someone to play that 50 plus. I wanted them to actually be that 50 plus.
I think it's a couple in the 40s.
No, I'm talking about you guys, the four.
I don't think,
wait.
yeah,
No,
Blair.
no.
Blair.
Yeah, Blair's not.
Yeah.
She's not there
Yeah,
yet.
she's
You say you're younger, so you were in the 40 range?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Blair is
No, she's not there yet.
Blair
She
ain't
under
50
me.
yet.
There yet.
I
she's
don't think.
48,
7.
Late
47,
40s.
48.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's late. She's late 40s. And that,
Season.
but she has an old soul.
Oh.
She has an old soul.
Yeah,
She really does.
Gotta
You
have
know
that.
her, don't she have an old
Yeah.
soul?
Yeah, she
She has
do.
an old
She
soul.
do.
Yeah. So what did the casting process how did that look? Like, how did you guys go about doing that?
We put out an audition. We our thing on Facebook, all the social media things, and they showed up, and there was a panel of people, and they came in and they auditioned. And I knew from listening to them, I was on the judging panel, but I did not say anything. I just let them came in and did their thing. And it was like, I like the greenness in them. I like the greenness in them. Because sometimes you can get seasoned actors and singers and dancers, and they team too much. So I like the greenness in them. I saw the potential in them, and that's where I took it from.
As life goes on with you ladies, what's and you know, when you talk about tea and gossip and in life, what is you guys' relationship with forgiveness these days?
I'm too old to forgive.
That's
What?
I can never time her.
She's so funny. That's so funny that you said that, because yesterday we had an interview and she asked, give us one word, and I think your word was.
Mine was what was
Yours
mine?
was faith.
Wasn't it
Faith.
Mine was faith. Yes.
And mine was forgiveness. And that was like basically wrap up the play, if you could say it in one word. And so with that being said, when I said that human, just being human, you know, understanding that you make some mistakes and you fall short and you're not perfect and you just as ugly and you pick your nose just like everybody else and you scratch your butt and you do the same things everybody else do. So sometimes we don't recognize until it's pulled out, until somebody has to point that out about you. Never. Okay? Because, you know, she got secrets and she do that. And then she turn around and act like she too good.
Because
like,
y'all be in my business.
But you can't act like you don't be in everybody else's business. And that's the problem. Just like that. And Blair, she's not even here because she are on there in somebody else's business. It's always like that. Somebody is always having to be in somebody's business. And when you decide that, you know what? I be in people's business too.
Yeah, forgiveness is
And you
light
gotta
work.
say I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do.
I have to say I have to forgive you, because if I want to be forgiven, I gotta forgive somebody, and that's really hurting you when you don't. It's damaging you. It's like you're holding on to dead weight. It's like you're sinking. You can't even swim. You can't make it if you keep all that this negative energy inside of you against somebody else. You get to set yourself free. And it's okay that you might have A, B, C, D, E, F, G'd me. You know what? I can move on. I know how to say, I'm not going to let that take power and control and possess my life so much that it's going to make me have an emotion against you. I want to strike you or hurt you. I keep talking about you. When is this going to die down? When are we going to put this in the past? If I did something to you, I think the part about forgiveness is we never get that person. We want them to be accountable. The accountability. I can forgive you, but are you going to be held accountable? And that's more so than hold yourself accountable. So if I'm going to forgive somebody, I got to be accountable to what I'm doing to somebody too. And that's how I can let that choke chain loose. You know, I got one on you, you got one on me. We both gonna pass out. And we just gonna kill it. You keep pulling, I'm gonna pull too.
Yeah.
And like, don't you want some air? Yeah. Ooh, let's let that go, girl. You feel better.
That's right.
You feel so much better. You feel lighter and freer. And freer to share your experience of, you know what? I used to couldn't stand them. Whoever it is or was or whatever the issue is. But forgiveness resonated with me from my character. Because a lot of times, police, I have to forgive the police. Why? What have they done for us? Why would I even want to be one? But that's what I wanted to be when I came out of high school. I wanted to go and be a police. I was working out, and I ended up getting pregnant and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to fulfill that. But my daughter.
That's what I was talking about, the
It came
craziness
out.
of casting people and listening to them talk about. I had no idea she wanted to be a police officer, but I cast her as a police officer.
And that wasn't it. That wasn't even true. I was reading a script and ended up with the part. I came to do the background, clean up, put the food out, taste all the food. I wanted to be that person in the green room with the snacks.
You want to be the stage.
That's what I wanted to be.
No, I knew when I didn't think she was gonna show up because Miss Fannie, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna audition. I'm just gonna be in an ensemble. That's all I want to be. And when she came in, the way she came in, I said, "Oh, look at Sam. Look at Sam." And I mean, I've been knowing her a long, long time. I've been knowing Stephanie a long, long time, and just found out today that Stephanie and I are blood cousins. We're related, and have been knowing her for
All of life.
20-some years. And so I called Stephanie. Stephanie is the newbie to the group, and I called her because I said, "Oh my God, my lady that was playing her had to drop out. I got to find somebody." I said, "I need somebody that can at least hold a note or sing or something like that." And I went and asked my daughter. I said, "Can Stephanie sing?" She said, "Yeah, Stephanie's in the choir." So I called Stephanie, 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
I called Stephanie 3 weeks ago. I said, "Hey, you still want to act?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "I have a part for you." "Okay, where I need to be, what time?"
I said that. Absolutely. And I'm there for you, Mom. Whatever you need me to be, whatever you need me to do, just let me know and I'm there. And that's how it happened.
Yep,
And
that's
I believe
exactly
that's
like
where my
that.
forgiveness comes from. With
Anyways.
her. But no, and just to get back to the forgiveness aspect of it all, it's if you don't forgiveness is easy. And it's free. And it makes you feel better about whatever the situation was. Sometimes you even forget, but to forgive someone, it's like lightweight. It just makes you lighter. It's like, why am I holding on to something like that? Why am I keeping myself in bondage over something that you did or she did or they did to me? That's meaningless to me. It's just, no one should actually have that much hold on your mental, because this is Mental Health Month too. So we got to release all of that.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then you're making yourself sick. Like Lulu said, that your thoughts will actually eat at you, literally, on the inside. So that's why you got to forgive and move
I'm
on.
not laughing at you. I'm laughing.
I didn't. You was laughing at me?
No. What's going through my mind is this: not to me.
Not to me. Okay, that is a part. If I like to, can I make a confession right now? Okay. So one time, I'm a nail tech and I've been an instructor. She came into my beauty school, right? We knew each other, kind of like afar off, like this, like hi, da, 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 da. And her as a client, this client right here used to give the students hell. And when I say that, it was like, why you are at a school. So, sometimes it was like that. But one day she made an ugly remark towards me. It was like the wrong time, wrong place. And yes, we was down there at the North Las Vegas campus of this beauty school. And so when she said something, I said something back to her. And now we're like, boop, boop. And I'm like,
Oh, we
so,
were at the
so then they had a, hey, I'm like, what? And that moment, I was like, okay. I just decided, I ain't playing with her. Then I found out that she was somebody's family member, basically their family. Yeah. So I see her in the shop again. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mess with people like that. When you do me I had to, I don't want to, hey, that over there. But guess what? I wasn't trying to have no bad feelings towards her anyway. But because it was real love where we was at, we came to a loving place. Because I could be like that right now, like, ooh. But why not? Look what I would have missed out on. Because, and this happened years and years ago, like way more than 10, 15 years ago probably. But the whole idea is that I can say that here on camera that I had them feelings like, girl. Yeah, because see, I was on my job. You playing with me on my job, though. And you make me, I don't even care about it, though.
At work right now.
Okay? So whatever she did, it just kind of like, and I just said, like, I'm not messing with her because I don't want to say nothing that's going to get me into a doo-doo-doo, but I just knew, Okay, no more. But then she came into the salon, and I was like, oh, this lady is somebody in my past, And now I have to realize, where was I at with that? What was my mental? Well, I had to check myself. So that was a good thing for me, because had I still been in that state of mind, if I could have carried it with me, it would still be there. And I'll pour that on the next person that remind me of her, that act like her. That's how I'm going to do her and the next person. For what? And then you can find yourself that I didn't even know I grew. I was like, oh, it's a millimeter. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. But it is people that that stay with you. That scar is still there. When you look on that scar, it just reminds you of the pain or whatever they put you in. And then eventually, those scars just kind of, you don't even know they fade away. Mm-hmm. And then they're not even there for you to pick at or look at no more. And then somebody may say, what is that? They have to look deep. Like, oh, remember them vaccination shots everybody mama got with them 5 little bears? Like, what's that? Everybody, you can say what's that. And they be like, oh, that's when we got them. That's when they tried to kill us the first time. No, I'm just joking.
You?
Oh, forgiveness?
Yeah.
I think it's important to protect yourself from people who continuously throw darts at you. Sometimes the best antidote for that is withdrawal. Sometimes I think that the only way that you can forgive is to place yourself in a situation where you're not deliberately walking into hurt.
Vulnerable.
So sometimes that's the best way to forgive.
I just blame it on my stroke. I can't remember stuff.
I told you,
That's
you
not
can't
funny.
you can't call it. You
That's
can
so
never
not
call
funny.
it.
CTE.
It's not funny.
It is funny, yes. I had a stroke. On the serious part, I started writing this play January the 22nd of 2024. And normally I can knock out a play
6
in
months.
no time. No, I did A Different Kind of Christmas. I gave myself 90 days to write it, cast it, rehearse it, and go on stage. Day 90th, we were on stage in production doing the play. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be able to knock this out, and stuff. January 22nd, 2024, I started writing. And January the 29th, I had what they call a TIA. And once you have it, it's like a little blood blockage to the brain. And it lasts about 10, 15 seconds. And then I can hear everything that you guys are saying, but I can't communicate. But I can hear everything. And when it goes, I go right back into the conversation, or wherever you guys are at, that's where I go back into. That was, paramedics came, got me. I was in the hospital for a few days and stuff. So since the stroke, I don't drive. I can't drive because of the seizures. Then I have a stuttering problem that when I have problems finding my words. I know what I want to say, but I have problems finding my words, and that triggers the seizure. And so for me, Esso, I've been knowing Esso, like I think him and Grease probably met
95. Since I moved out here, 95.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm such a control person, used to shut up.
Speak
And
that.
so anyways, it was something I had to learn to not, to give people that, that thing because of the stroke. I might, they tell me, well, Mom, I said blah, 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 this and that and all that. And I was like, you know what? You have to call and remind me of those things. You have to call and remind me because the stroke, that part, sometime I can remember, sometime I can't. Sometime I pretend I can, and I don't. Or sometime I don't, and I can, because I want to hear what they're going to be saying about me and think, that's what I just do.
Remember.
You still planning your surprise birthday party?
Right.
You
She
know
says
what?
that every
They
year.
took that away from me. I was
Every
planning
year.
at 65. I wanted a skate party, and I turned 65 November of last year, and they wouldn't do it. So, I'm like, that's why I don't like being on y'all planning committee, But my 60 years was the jump off.
Yeah.
It was
What a
the
good time.
bomb. But no, I just let people know that regardless to what's being done in your life, because if you'd have told me that I was gonna have a stroke, I would have been like, get out of here with that. Because, but I did, and it took me, I finished it in October-ish. From January to October is when I finally finished it. One of the things that happened, though, I wrote the first act.
Yeah.
And, man, I wrote the second act. And then I read the two together, and I was like, ooh, they don't match. And that was, just had to fight my way back through it. And it's the good thing they believe in the finished product. It was kind of, but they believe in the finished product, and they sticking with it. And I love my cast. I love my cast.
What was the difficulties of financing the play?
Living on a fixed income. I'm being honest with you. I've always paid, I have started a youth organization in 1992, Kids for a Better Society. So my brother and I did that. He was a police officer, and I worked for the test site. And so we just financed it with our own money. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm asking people for the first time, charging for someone to come and see the play. Normally, I don't. I just put them on, and people like them, and I was like, why didn't you charge for this? This is phenomenal. I never looked at it like that. But this is the first time that I'm actually asking the people donate $10 to come and see it. And if you want this T-shirt that we are wearing, pay $20 for your ticket, and you get a T-shirt. And this is the first time that I've actually did that. And it's basically, we want to take this on the road, and we are filming this for people, in the investment world to see it. And that's, like I said, I always finance everything myself, but this time I'm actually charging for people to come and see it.
You know our brother Spence, the black conservative we have on the show? That's our brother.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting, brother.
Jerry.
Confession.
Uh-oh.
I have a confession.
Go ahead.
So something that Miss Fannie may not know. When she first met me and was telling me about this, she led with the fact that she had had a stroke. And I don't really remember anything else that she said after that. None of it mattered. When she was saying, being the director and all that, none of that mattered, and here's why. So I took care of my late mother after she had a stroke. And at the time, I was going back to ASU for my second degree in film with my mom. My mother and I she was gonna finish her first degree, and I was going back to film school together. And I'd written this movie about her life and being, married to my dad and how they came through the NFL and all that. Long story short, so she had a stroke. And she went on home to be with the Lord after that. But I had the privilege of being her primary caregiver. And she made me promise her that if the opportunity ever came that I would continue on, I was going to just forget everything I was doing, start another career, and not do it. Promise her. So when you said that, it was like being able to speak for you, for like you talk about your stuttering and little things, being able to make that happen and you not have to worry about it at all. It really is a privilege, and I want you to know that. I'm not just doing
Don't
it because
make me
I'm just
ugly
being
cry.
honest.
I see it.
I'm just being honest.
All right. That means you got to come to the play. Look, she done took her glasses off. Yeah, you got the combo.
That is.
Yeah, I
Man.
want you to know, like, really the place that it's coming from.
Wow.
And that's why a lot of times if you have those moments, I'm like, I am doing 200% to make sure that your message is stated correctly the way you want it done.
That is wild.
It's the Lord. That's
I
when they
didn't
say
know
it's the
that.
Lord.
You have friends.
Yeah.
That wish you well.
Yeah, I really didn't know that. Now that I think about it, that's when I was at the house and I was trying to get something out, and I remember you coming over and saying to me, take your time, it's okay, and breathe and take your time, and that's wow. God, girl, if I ugly cry.
It's okay. Yep.
Here we are.
Everybody in here crying now.
Yeah.
He said you're welcome.
You had said something earlier, kind of spinning my mind since we've been talking. When did you get a feeling of worthiness?
Me?
Yes.
Well, which question?
When did that feeling of worthiness?
Of
hit you?
worthiness?
Yes.
She's always been uppity. Remember
I
what
have
she
always
just
been
said
this
about
way,
the
correct.
nail
I have always
situation.
been that way. But I became
That's
worthy.
Nelva.
My word.
When you
after
felt
my
like
divorce.
you were.
After my divorce. After divorce. I had my oldest son in high school. So I didn't think I was well enough, good enough to continue on to the military like I was going to enlist in. I didn't feel that I could really even go to college anymore. So I went to work. And with my grandmother being the president, I had a job every other week. If I quit one, I literally had another job. They knew me by face, by name. Oh, your grandmother's over there. She's in the office. All right, cool. She sent me out to get another job. Had my second son at 23, married at 25. Then the whole situation of a marriage at 33, I was now a single mother of 2. And that's when I was like, okay, I got my college degree when I was married. Okay, I can actually do a little something. I actually filed for my home at that time. And then I was like, okay, I'm in my house by myself because God is good. I was able to have a brand new home from the ground up, and no one lived in it but me and my children. And I was like, okay, I got a car. Okay, I got a job. Life is good. I'm all right. I'm going to be okay. And then everything else started happening. Like, okay, I done wrote a book. Okay, I'm in the first play. And I'm like, all right. Okay, people look at you a little differently when you carry yourself a little different. And so that's where my worthiness came after I had to actually sit and grasp it for myself. So around 35, around about 35, I felt like I was actually, I've always known I was somebody. The way that my family told me how I was a little girl, I wanted to sit in your lap. Tell me you love me. They said, that's all I used to tell them. Tell me you love me. And then I jump down and I go play. I needed that validation for a long time. Now it's like, hey, girl, in the mirror. Hey, girl, okay, let's go. Girl, you looking good. Even though I be toe up sometimes. But in the inside, I'm just shouting for glory because I know where I've been. I know where I'm going. I know where I want to go, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So that is me in a nutshell. I am who I am. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But I am who I am.
I couldn't have grew up with you. I'd have beat you up.
Probably.
That left hook ain't nothing nice.
Yeah, probably. But I had hands, though. So
What was that you told me?
That left hook ain't nothing nice.
Thank you.
Punched me in the chest. I'm in that house. I'm talking. This man. He lying. She punched me in the chest. What you hit me for? You said a bad word. I ain't say a bad word. I just said a lie. I got another
That's
hit.
it.
Boom.
that's it.
Grease. You
There's
can't
a
say
bad
the L
word.
word in mom's house. Really?
Yeah.
I'm grown.
But
You
do
thought?
you say it?
She said, I don't care. Don't say that word in my
Said the
house.
L word.
She made a really good point though. Like after your divorce, you felt validated. I think even some of the other grown folks stuff that I do, people don't understand the responsibility that comes with being someone's spouse.
Ooh,
Elaborate.
Like,
my granddaughter.
I think a lot of people try to say, oh,
Can you get her? 'Cause, I mean, I got a couple dollars, but not that many. Tell her to suck down.
go ahead. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, I think a lot of people think that we're on this. Oh, you're responsible for your own happiness, and I believe that you are. Yes, you are. However, I think once you're in a committed relationship, it's up to when someone steps up and says, "Yes, I'm willing to be in a relationship with you." They're also taking on the responsibility to help you get better. And sometimes you end up with the wrong person who puts a shelf on or ceiling on who
On the
you
growth,
are,
yeah.
on the growth, out of whatever reason they're jealous. Maybe they don't know, whatever it is. But I have a lot of people who come just from things that I'm writing who say that. Oh man, it wasn't until after even I was married at one point and I felt the same way. It was after I got divorced. I was like, oh, I am okay. I'm not like weird or lazy or a nothing or and I just think that again through film and entertainment is another avenue to educate people. This is not how you treat your person. You treat your person like this. You want them to grow, like you row in the same direction. The team is getting stronger, the muscle is building. Stop looking at the other person like they're a threat, or just get out of the relationship. Because everyone doesn't have her story. There's so many women who don't ever get out of it, who don't turn it around, who don't buy the house, who don't go to the audition and get the part. So I just think that it's important that we understand when you step up and you're in a committed relationship with someone, you're there, you are responsible for them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Henry Mitchell.
But that goes with David
I
and
am
Jeanette.
a
David and
handful.
Jeanette.
Right.
We do have that couple.
We have that couple in
We
the
got
play.
that couple
Where
everywhere.
You gotta come see it. You gotta come see the drama.
When
Yeah,
you
like-
said the worthiness, I'm gonna just tell you like this in a nutshell. I am not. And if I stay in a place of humbleness, then it's easy for him to take me where he want me to go. And when I approach anything, I just want to be a part of it. So the part that I just got to be a part of, I was happy. I was like, I got to read some lines. Oh, okay, that's good. Just for fun. It was more fun for me just to be a part of something that was meaningful. So to me, that was a worthy moment. But at the end of the day, I haven't arrived yet. And I want to stay in that place. And it keeps me remembering that I am forgiven. And it's grace and mercy.
Amen.
When I became a commissioner, I said as a board member for the Housing Authority of Southern Nevada, that whole idea, I put an application in. I am a Section A recipient. Hallelujah. My 40 acres and a mule because they ain't giving you nothing else. And I'm going to hold on to it and protect it as much as I could. I was told back in 96 to go and or 97, I believe it was, go get the ticket or stand in line. It was a lottery at that time. Go get the lottery. I got me a thing. I got a message from my aunt that was a preacher's wife down in Arkansas. Put it in Hebrews 11. I had read it as a kid. I'm like in my 20s. But it didn't apply. It didn't resonate until I had to have an act of faith. I had to put some work in. And from that, what she taught me was if you are obedient, because it's okay to be faithful, but obedience comes with that because obedience is better than sacrifice. When I did that, the Lord showed me how much more he could do for me. And I couldn't believe it. I ended with my own place. It was a prayer. I didn't want to I like Mama Manor. I just did the rehab on it. It was nice. It was in the cut. It was my people. It was my place. Down way is where I stayed at. And he moved me because I didn't want to raise my kids in that I couldn't fight the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. And I just wanted a place where my kids can have stability and a place that they can be free to think and carry out those things that was going to be important, And so when we talk about worthiness, shortly thereafter, I had a life-threatening disease that something could have killed me, 50-50 chance. The Lord brought me from that. Then I end up with the swine flu. I'm like, who get the swine? I did. And everybody was like this in the hospital. They didn't even want to come in my room because they didn't even know what it was about. I was hearing because I couldn't even see. The Lord had put me, I couldn't even see. Now I couldn't walk. I couldn't see to walk. And I could hear people dying every day. I'm like, no, this is not happening. I survived that. Hallelujah. The next thing, I get shot. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Why did I get shot? Sitting there going to pick trying to be a police officer. My daughter wanted to be a police officer. She's turning in her application that night. Here we spend time trying to get it sent over, scanned and faxed. Seal the deal. I'm just on my phone. Here come a car. My daughter is putting in my granddaughter in the car. And here comes a drive-by. Somebody should be like, to me, I'm like, where I come from, we turn around and go get them fools, right? But I'm like, you too old and you ain't got no gun. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? And I'm just like, what? And she was like, Mom, she was an EMT at the time. So crazy, but she's striving to be a police officer. The EMT, she just ducked. She covered the car seat that was in the middle. 2-year-old granddaughter just had a birthday. And she was like, Mama, you okay? I was like, I don't know. I feel something hot and wet. I think I've been hit. Her eyes got this big because she know what that emergency looks like.
Yeah.
She's like, Mama, drive. I'm like, Mom, you know, I used to be a getaway driver before in my past life. So they were like, Mom.
Mad at you right there.
She got on the phone. She's like, get a unit ready for my mom right now, you know. And here's my life. Here's my life. This is my life. I don't know what's gonna happen. I can't breathe. I don't know what. Just get my kids safe. Just get my child. Get my grandbaby safe. I didn't know what to do. Shot me in the back. I'm like, how? The bullet went through the back door, underneath the handle, underneath the handle, through the back seat into me. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this cannot be happening. So that was yes, in the middle, and my daughter had covered the car seat. And here we go, having these neighborhoods that we live in. Our sons, some of our kids, not the best. We think that we want it, but here we are. And now my daughter, her life in jeopardy, her career, the things she want to do online because of things like this. And when I say, I know that I'm not worthy. When I say that, I didn't do nothing to bring me back. I just knew that I wanted life, and I wanted their life. And that's what meant something to me. And I just thank God for that whole idea. And so when I have these experiences with these incredible, amazing people, I know I'm supposed to be dead like 3 times or more. You know what I'm saying? I done had a man pull a gun out in my face and try to kill me, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just so grateful just to be part of this experience, to just be part of this story that, you know what, when I get there, then I know I'm worthy.
Amen.
You know?
Man.
I haven't even arrived, but I'm glad I'm along for the journey, and I love it. I love it.
Wow. So, I know. I'm like, how we follow that? My goodness. But I was gonna ask you, as a playwright, can you describe that feeling, like seeing your words actually come to life up on the stage?
It is absolutely the best feeling in the world to when I did What's Going On, the reality high school musical, it was about teenagers and what they really are doing in high school. And when I seen those kids up there doing what was on the paper, on that stage, I was just sitting there, I was just smiling and just so happy. And then I did A Different Kind of Christmas, and the amount of time I gave myself to do it, and when I tell you they killed that, oh my God. And just when I walked out of the theater and the whole audience was still in the lobby, they was just like, everybody was just turning to me and thanking me for an amazing play and this and that and all that. And only thing I said in my head was, the little girl from Arkansas is getting this love. That's what went through my head. And when I wrote this one, and just to see the actors and stuff, because just see it all come together and all that, it is one of the most outrageous. I mean, I go to bed at night smiling because I realize that God gave me this gift, and to put it on paper, and I'm that pen to pad, thing. Grease stole that from me, by the way. I'm that person that I write and then I type, and it's just one of the most amazing feeling to have someone to act your words. That is something that this play saved my life.
Thank you.
This particular play saved my life because, I know my family was there for me and all of this, but I just said, you know what, I have to see this come to reality. So this play, if you have a goal, always remember this: you're never too old to see it come to reality. You're never too old. So that's what it is. I was sitting there because I always go in the back of the house and watch it, and it's like I can't go to the back of the house this time because I'm not a stoop lady, but I'm a messy lady on the stage this time. So I can't go to the back of the house and watch what's going on. But dang, I may have to take myself out. But it's an amazing feeling. It really is. It's amazing.
You just realized
feeling.
that. You just realized, oh no.
So with everything that's happened to you, how does this one feel to you?
This one hit different. This one definitely hit different. It's crazy because I did not know that I was having many strokes and once I started thinking back on it, they started happening like 3 or 4 years ago, the little mini strokes. But this one hit different. This play hits different because I was able to push my way through it. This ain't the feminine part, is it? No, it was like just, it was different because it was just different because to have a stroke and not know that, my husband asked a question one day, what is depression? And because he was listening to something on TV, and I said, me? And he looked like, what do you mean, me? I said, have you not noticed that since January the 29th, I've been in this bed for 60 plus days? 60 plus days. I would get up, use the bathroom, take a shower here and there. I stayed in my room. YouTube became my best friend. And it was like, only time I would get up when I had to go to the doctor. It was just something I'd never experienced. I've never experienced depression. And that was one of the things that, this place saved my life because I could go into a world that wasn't mine, a make-believe world that wasn't mine, even though it's about real subjects in the play. I can't relate to the divorce. I've been with my husband 50 years. We've been married 47 years. And I know personally he ain't going nowhere. And the reason why I say that, because nobody else is going to put up with me but Henry Mitchell. So he can't go nowhere. Even though Enzo trying to be my kid stepdaddy, you know. I know that
Hey, me is Larry Johnson.
ain't nobody going to put up with me. I know me. And I don't even like myself sometimes. I'm like, girl, why did you do that? Why'd you say that? But then
Forgiveness.
I don't forgive myself. I remember, and I just move. It's not forgiveness for me. I just move on. But yeah, it's amazing. It's this one here, baby girl. It hits different. This one really does hit different because if I didn't have that to cling onto, I would not be sitting here because I was not, when you think of a stroke, you think of a person, one side paralyzed and stuff. I wasn't none of this stuff. I did ask my son to make me a shirt because I kind of geared to the right on walking, and my shirt was going to say, I'm not drunk, I'm not high, I had a stroke. Because I don't like walking with the cane, but I do need the cane. Because the right side is weak, but it's not, it's still functional.
Yeah.
But this one definitely hit different, and I can't be in the back of the house, so yeah.
What is it's a question for all you guys. As we all get older, how do you guys feel about mortality and growing up? Not just with yourselves, but growing up and seeing your friends, family members, those around you, no longer here.
I'll go first on that one. I'll go first. If you want to think about it. And I'll go first because I'm probably the last person that had to deal with that. So before my mother got sick, mortality was, I would always say, it's not going to happen to me. Like I actually believe I was just never going to die. And then my mother got sick, and thank God my business allowed me to take care of her, actually be the person. Learning that process of watching someone transition is actually beautiful, to the point where I started studying about becoming a death doula, because you need that person that's grounded enough to recognize what's happening. I think that by the time you get there, if you have completed what you feel like your assignment was, if you have set up your family, if you have your loved ones there that know you, that are willing to carry on the definition of legacy, what you want done, that you've made your place in the world, that people will remember you, that generations will remember you, that you've made an impact. I feel like the transition is more of a natural way of life. Like we just get older, and I only believe that now. I didn't think of that. I didn't know that or think of that until I actually saw it. So it can be painful and all, but I think if you understand what it is and you set yourself up, then people think being prepared for it is having a beneficiary. Did you do your will? Did you? No, it's more than the will. It's more than the trust. It's more than the money in the bank and all the life insurance policies and all that. Those things are great, but your life insurance policy, for instance, needs to be constructed to where your legacy is continuing on. So I think that it's a beautiful part of life. I think that you need a specific cavalry around you who understand it and who are willing to carry out what your values are. And I really do believe it's a transition. I don't think we ever actually leave. Because watching my mother, actually, I was there. I promised her that I would stay to the very end. So I sat through her cremation. I sat through her autopsy. I went all the way to the end, like I promised her that I would. And going through that, it's not it's not as bad as we think it is, as Hollywood has made us to believe it to be.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you do with her ashes?
I still have them. I've contemplated putting them in the jewelry. I've contemplated taking her. She loves St. Croix. I was gonna take them down to St. Croix and then do that thing. But I still carry them with me.
I carry
They're still in
my
possession.
mom's ashes too. Still.
Yeah. I just can't like, people go shake them and that's great, but I just, and kudos to you for keeping them. It's a thing to keep them. Like, it really is you have to keep up with them. But good for you.
I told Henry he has to keep mine, especially we're in the 55+ community. No, what? Lulu was. She's great, man. She's great. So like, no,
Did we mention that the play is a comedy? Could you pick that up?
It's a comedy
The
play.
play is actually a comedy, believe it or not.
Yeah, we're a comedy podcast too.
With emotion.
you guys can't. You guys have to understand. Being in that 55+, this is our second time around, right? And Lulu is standing there waiting, and she called. She was like, "Miss Fannie, where you at? I'm here at the stop sign." I'm like, "Girl, Mr. Henry is putting something in the back of his truck. Here come the two old ladies.
I was just about to ask you that, Fanny. They be getting it in there, huh?
Oh,
Do
they
they?
be after my husband.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't hate.
She gonna move. She gonna move.
Oh.
That's why
I'm not moving. No, I'm not
Oh,
moving.
my God.
We're gonna have a 1016 Alpine Heights too. I kid you not. This is not the first time we was there.
Throwing it at them?
No, the first time we was there in the 55+ community, and there was this lady named Frances, and she had a blind dog.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Oh,
Frances
blind
didn't
dog.
live on our floor.
Okay.
But Frances would be waiting at the elevator. There's a bench outside the elevator for Henry. And so one day, me, Henry, my brother Jerry, and my mom, and Frances and her friend is sitting on this bench. And so, Henry's walking. My husband's 6'4", nice looking man. I mean, he all right, And so Henry's walking. Now I'm walking beside Henry, and my mother and my brother Jerry, they're walking together. And so Henry, this is Frances. Hi, Henry. And then she look at me. Hi. And so we, Henry stopped. He go, "Oh, this is my brother-in-law. This is my mother-in-law." And he was, this is my wife. You already know her. And so Frances sitting there, look at my mother that's in her 80s and say, "Oh, how is Henry's wife doing?" And and so the lady sitting with Frances, she say, "Frances, that's not his wife. That's his wife." "Well, baby, I had surgery." And the woman said, "On your foot, not your And then she would do stuff like wait outside on the sidewalk for him. One day I was like, "You might have to strip so I can search you for a monitor to see if Frances got something. Did she ever bump into you, and put a thing in you to keep up with you?" She got this blind dog. She let the dog go. The dog goes straight to Henry. and Henry, "Oh, Frances, here's your dog." And he take the dog back, dog back to Frances. And, "Oh, thank you, Henry." And so Henry would come back up, and he was like, "Man, I don't know what's up with that chick, Frances." He said, "Man, I get out the car, she's there. I go to the trash, she's there." He said, "Everywhere I go, there's Frances." I said, "Yeah, Frances wants you." No. He know how Henry is. Nope. Nope. But that's what I did with. Now we have a golden doodle. Henry go to get the dog from the groomer, bring her in through the lobby. There's about 5 females sitting down there in the lobby. And he walked through with the golden doodle. "Oh, what a beautiful dog. woo, woo, woo. And one of the ladies talking about, like it's owner.
Oh.
You know, like, so
Bold.
Henry come upstairs and he has Zeus with him and he's walking and stuff. And then he was like, man, you know, them ladies down there, they was really feeling Zeus when I came through. He said, so I was like, what are you getting ready to do? Oh, I just wanted you to get make sure Zeus was cut okay and stuff. I said, no, what are you getting ready to do? Because you headed back to the door. He was like, oh, I'm going to take Zeus down to the dog park. I said, oh, we are?
I bet. Right. I bet we are.
Are we?
Is that what we're about to do?
It was super funny because we was not too long ago we had a conversation
Talking about the AIDS rates
SO
and senior
moving his
citizen homes.
pops. And just did.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. My God.
But that's payback because the homie had me believing that Fannie was with Larry Johnson when we was kids.
Oh, no, Larry.
So he gonna tell me on the side, hey, don't say nothing, man. I almost broke up their family, man. Fannie had a thing for Larry Johnson. So I'm like, what? How? He's like, man, don't tell Pops. Pops get upset. So I'm just sitting there being quiet, tiptoeing around. It's like 7 years. I've just been thinking back in my mind. So I bring it up to Fannie. Fannie like, so-and-so, a goddamn lie. I ain't never had nothing but Larry Johnson. He led you to believe that. So I'm like, man, why you lie to me about that? It was just so petty. He was like, I just wanted to see what you... OG. Right.
Yeah,
He's like, I just wanted to see
sound
what
like something he
true.
would say.
Wow.
No, he this dude growing up with this boy, I don't even know how I survived him. This dude was telling everybody in the school and had people believing that my husband was his daddy. Everybody believed that. And they was like, once somebody asked, was like, Freeze, how do you get along so well with OG and you know your daddy slept with his mama? That's how OG got here. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what he was. He had everybody believing this. Everybody.
She had the best lies.
And he would be like, yeah, man, you know, because he lived with us. That's what made it so bad. They was like, somebody see me in the streets, they was like, girl, I could not be you. I said, why couldn't you be me? What not happened that I don't know about? Girl, I had heard that Henry had a kid and you moved an extra kid in your house. I'm like, extra kid? I'm trying to run through Andre friends and see who this is.
What kid?
And then I'm like, what kid, you know? And so the first one came to my mind was
6.
you.
Oh, me?
I thought it was something you had said because you know you could be a little crazy, you know. So I thought, and then I was like, well, I knew it wasn't 6.
Yeah.
You know. But then I said, you know, that ain't nothing but an OG story. That ain't nothing but an OG story.
Yeah, it is. God bless.
They even had me on the paperwork to pick up him from school.
Uh-huh.
And Henry, he went and told them, no, my parents is Henry, and my stepmom is Fannie Mitchell, and they should be able to come and pick me up. That's what he told his real mom. And she said, well, you know, no problem, because they're really good people. And she put us on there. Wow. Mm-hmm. She put us on there.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, I could write plays for days just off of them.
Just off of him, yeah.
Just off of, no, you in there too. You the part of them. You the part of them too.
Ain't no camera phones back then. Ain't nothing happening.
If they had camera phones, you guys would be in big trouble.
We would.
Big trouble.
Something you mentioned earlier about
Look at him
recording.
changing
Yeah, I was. When you were doing erotica films, to keep the man that was the actor stimulated, what were some of the tricks that they did to keep him like aroused to film the process?
So I only use actual couples.
Oh, okay.
So that helps. Because the chemistry has to be communicated through the lens.
Yes.
So that's a big part of it. And that set is probably my strictest set. Like, there's no talking, there's nothing happening in the background except that, because it has to be communicated to the viewer, it's like it's for that husband or committed boyfriend that's like, oh, I want to do something special for her. What should I do? So they need to be able to go, okay, I'll do that, but yeah, she probably won't like that. And it's simple. Some of them are like really simple, like go to the grocery store, walk down the card aisle and look for this type of card. This is what she likes. She will never tell you this, but it is true. You know, little things like that. Go home and do this. So.
Did you ever encounter like any weird smells on the set?
Look,
That's the thing. I've heard that.
you know, so like mine are not like hardcore.
Yeah.
Some of the hardcore sets require a lot of
Ventilation?
Lube.
yes, ventilation
Yeah.
and attention. But no, like we
You
do.
wasn't hardcore. Okay, I don't want to be your assistant. Then.
No, but you know, we use a lot of fruit, a lot of things like that. But the smell's not really.
That's all I got.
No.
You said you were on the housing authority board. This question has been asked often with them getting ready to redo Marble Manor.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it nicely. How many of those residents will be able to come back?
All 235 residents will be able to return if they want to. If they want to come back, because they're going to be relocated and they're taking care of all those expenses. So despite what some people may have heard or not heard or incorrect truth going around, they have to put them back because it's a HUD regulation. They have to. Now, will those 235 people want to come back, or individual families, et cetera? A few of them that have relocated, they happy where they at. Mm-hmm. They're not. They some of them don't want to come back. That's what they had to do. They probably was like, "Ooh, yes, my opportunity." But we have to give them the opportunity to return back to where they are. You can't just displace them and let that be it. This is, I think, the main problem is that they are putting more back, okay? So it's going to be like 600 total probably units. They're going up because the land is landlocked around here, so they're going to go up on a lot of different structures now. But in order to keep that community intact, they have to put more in it. You have to put more in it. And it's going to require for the whole community to have to put in efforts and clean up and do those things. But, yes, they'll definitely get to return back if they want to. So stay tuned because there's going to be conversations coming up, I think, every second Monday. Pretty soon here coming up, they're going to actually pilot a program on Power 88. So then you'll be able to talk to them. And it's just from the point of view, just so you can get educated. Because a lot of stuff, it happened to me. Well, that didn't happen to me. This one happened to me. And let's get it understood. Everybody have problems in their organizations, in situations.
Yes.
A lot of the things, if it comes to me living outside or doing what these people tell me to do, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what these people tell me to do. Mm-hmm. And so it's sometimes we think we can beat the system. But if somebody's willing to help you, just think about it. If your child wants you to do something, you like, okay, you need to be doing what you're supposed to do. That's how you get to go where you want to go and do what you want to do. But some people don't want to stick with those, requirements, So in a sense, when we put back, let's put back better. That's what I was saying. It's going to be they're giving wraparound services. They're providing those services for people. If you have a problem with getting work, they're sending in workforce for you. Mm-hmm. If you have a problem with daycare, they're assisting with daycare. They do this already, but they intentionally and deliberately are doing it for all 235 of these residents. So despite what, people may know, that is what is written. That's what's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, let's just embrace this change and try our best to be different people when we come back. Because I was there back in, 96 when they had a rehab? Why do we have to keep doing this every 20, 30 years? We got to keep, because somebody don't want to take care of their property or take care of their unit. And that's not fair to the rest of the community, especially when taxpayers' dollars are going to ensure the community. And we're supposed to be good stewards of public trust. So if we want to make sure that we are doing the best by these properties and the different residents that are there to ensure their success. Nobody want to see you come down. But we're going to have your kids pick up their chips and them bottles. What's wrong with that? They put it down there. Yeah. We asking you to go put your trash in the trash. We asking you not to park your cars on the grass or in the rocks. We asking you not to break bottles. We asking you to turn your music down. There are other residents that are here. We asking you not to, recreate in our areas. We got children here. We ask you not to have a party on the playground where the children at. Whatever those rules and regulations have to be, we have to understand and respect them. And we've got to feel like they owe me. They owe you what? This is not even your community. Even when we were tearing it up in the 80s and 90s, going over spray paint, this is not your stuff. You haven't put one penny into the community.
So can I smoke weed in public since it's legal?
No, you cannot smoke weed in public housing. Okay, it is federal funds, federal money. Say you got to do it the federal way.
Gotcha.
So it's a way to do what you do, but just
don't
be
wanna
careful
move
of
there.
what you're doing because our children are watching. This is the most terrible part is because these same people that might occupy, and I can say it for myself. Why? Because I'm a product of my environment. Okay, somebody gave me an opportunity and chance to make it better for my children and myself. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to school, get myself active. I'm going to try to put back in the community, but taking care of my 4 kids is what I'm supposed to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to. Maybe I don't have a job that pays me enough to have health insurance. Well, then they have ways that you can get that, but you can't be having your boyfriend eat up all the food, eat up everything, bring his homeboys over here, do God knows what, and think it's going to be okay every time. Yes, the police are coming to your house because you brought them. You made them come. So I just want people's mentality to kind of change, and I know that's the biggest thing, especially with educators. We're trying to change their mind. I think it was Albert Einstein that said, education is just not the memorization of facts and numbers and knowledge. It's training the mind to think. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest thing. And once you can do that in your home amongst your children, and they're doing it at school, and I can be happy on my job, then we get to change our community. Then we get to change society. But until then, we have to assume this responsibility. So, yes, my best hope for the community is that we come back and we're stronger and we're better and we are more self-sufficient. Because while we depended on them anyway, I have no idea. It wasn't set up for that. Mm-hmm. It's a trap because they make money off you.
Yep.
They devise a system. And so we have to understand how to work that system. And when you have people that know how to navigate it and teach you what to do, we cannot afford not to listen and take instructions.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
I heard that. Before we get up out of here, I do want to say thank you guys.
Thank you
Really,
guys. Thank you
really.
guys.
This might have been
Probably
our
one
best
of my
one today.
favorites. Yeah.
I won't even lie to you. We didn't feel this one come. This is all freestyle, by the way. We was just, we was sitting in here talking before you ladies came in here because we didn't know the direction that we was going to take it. And I really appreciate.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And we will be there.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will be there. So for our listeners, again, where can they purchase tickets? Where would it be at? Date and time.
It will be at the. Well, you know what? I'm gonna get that to my director. Let her get the address and everything.
I do know the address. I have not memorized the address, but it's East Flamingo.
It is at the Flamingo Theater.
Tell me
Well,
the
there's the
numbers.
Library Theater. The address is 1401
01.
East Flamingo Road, and that's like on the corner of
Flamingo,
down the
Maryland?
street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Maryland
at the
Parkway and Flamingo.
Okay.
Doors open at 6. Box office open up at 5, so it's like will call, and the play starts at 7:00.
At 7.
At 7.
Like, we're really going to start
We have
at
to
7
start
o'clock.
at 7.
We're not going to wait for you. The ushers, okay. The ushers will not let you in after 7. We
Yep.
can't have that distraction. So
Yep.
please
7
be seated.
o'clock. And the thing about this play, I'm asking everyone that come, because we're having a white party. I want everybody in white. I want to look in the audience and see everyone in white with an African print. You can wear a hat, you can wear a scarf, you can wear anything African. And that's what I want this to be different than the norm in a play. Everybody, we're not going to turn you away if you don't have the white on. But I'm asking everyone that participate to come and see this play that they have on white with the African print, because this is 7 days before Juneteenth. 7 days. And they can purchase the tickets they can DM me, Fannie Mitchell. They can DM me. They can Cash App, put in a memo how many tickets they're paying for, their name, because it will be at will call. They can also purchase the tickets from all the cast members. They will have a group of tickets that they are selling, for donation. Miss Prophet has it set up to where they can also get it from her. Now, on Eventbrite, the tickets are $20, but that $20 gets you a ticket and one of these fabulous T-shirts that I'm wearing.
Okay.
Yep.
What is the link for you?
Oh, yeah. On the website, it's lacroomentertainment.com, where you can go on if you've got a credit card, you just want something to purchase it differently. It's LUCRUM entertainment.com, and you can purchase tickets there. It's the same thing, $20 donation gets you the ticket and the T-shirt.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Facebook under Ethena Prophet, Instagram or TikTok under Strands of Beauty, or they can give me a call.
Okay.
Yep. I'm pretty easy to find.
All right.
Yep.
You can find me in the neighborhood. Tell where, what school, what store. You could just find me in the neighborhood.
Sam.
Everybody that know me, Miss Lulu, Miss Lulu,
But
Miss Turner to all my students.
If they hit me up on if they DM me and say, hey, I want X amount of tickets or whatever, my adult children have been bullied to deliver them.
Any
No,
parting thoughts?
no.
Where can they find you guys at?
I am S2DO on Instagram and Twitter.
Shayna_Candy everywhere.
Just call me Spencer on Twitter. Views from the 7 everywhere. View 7 Network on YouTube. To next week. Thank you guys again.
Oh,
next
thank
week.
you. Thank you for having us.
We up out of here. Peace.
All right.